is the side plank such an important exercise? That's a great question to start off with. And you've got to think that we have these different planes of motion. We move forward and backwards. We move side to side. We go up and down, and we rotate. We turn. Well, sometimes that side-to-side movement, well, we don't want that. Think about when you're walking. And how as you're walking, you've got these lateral slings that are going down the sides of your body. And if they're not stable, if they're not firing properly, well, then there's going to be a chance that your hips are going to start swaying a little bit. You're not going to have that pelvic control. And so if you slip and fall, that might actually, well, first of all, if you just slip, that could turn into a fall. But if you have more stability and more strength in this kind of plane of motion, you can prevent that unwanted motion. You can prevent falling. You can minimize injury. So what a sweet setup.
That's something I agree with as well.
Side planks in themselves are a very difficult exercise. Even when you've got the intention 100%, it's still very challenging for people. That's why we here at Fitness Line Down, we spend 2 to 3 months building people up for the side plank. We don't think of the side plank as an introductory kind of exercise. It's an advanced exercise. Now, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this exercise. So I'm going to start first in a modified position. So the more my knees are bent, the less challenging. So if I start taking my knees out a little bit more challenging. If you think about physics, there's this lever arm that's happening. So I'm going to shorten that lever arm. The biggest common mistake I see from people is as they come in flat with their elbow. So they bring their elbow in here. Now, if you look at this, my elbow is actually slightly outside of my shoulder position, which once I come into the side plank, it's going to be easy for me to collapse into there. And that's what we hear so many people talk about, is how uncomfortable it is for their shoulders to perform a side plank. So instead of coming in flat like that, I'm looking at people coming in at an angle. Now, when you put your elbow in the correct place, your brain might be thinking that you're like way over here. But as I come in at that angle, now if you can see, I'm more stacked.
No, it's got its perks.
And I'm not lifting my body off the ground. What I need to do is I need to drive the ground down as I establish this side plank. Now remember what we talked about is how that side-to-side motion. So what am I doing? This bottom half is responsible for keeping me up. So holding this position here, yes, very challenging. I feel a lot of things firing at the same time. But it's going to be very effective because of my elbow position, so that I can really stack my upper back here. Now what's missing in that side plank? Well, you see it right over here. It's the ultimate sandbag. What we do with that ultimate sandbag to help give us more core connection, more stability, is we use our suitcase handle. Because remember, I pointed to this bottom glute being the main factor here at the bottom side. But actually, if I could tie it into that top lat, our body's got that cross patterning. So we want to work with that because we can create more efficiency and more strength. So here I go. I'm going to enter in, elbow comes stacked underneath. Now from there, I'm going to pull on this. I'm going to pull the slack out of this handle as I elevate up. I'm driving up. And I like to use the ultimate sandbag because I feel like to some degree I'm pushing my hips in, so I create more of a plane of motion here. I create more of a straight line down here, so I'm not so angled. So from that position, as I pull the slack out of that handle, all of a sudden I'm connecting this top lat to that bottom glute. And just like that, it becomes more efficient. It becomes more strong. It becomes more accessible for people. Not easy, by no means. This is not an easy exercise. But done with that efficiency, done with that intention, you'll find more success. And you're going to build better strength through the core in ways that other implements just can't give you. So, until next time, you are welcome.